Good evening. This is the Planning Board meeting of August 22nd, 2017. If we could please stand to pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now, I'll entertain a motion to move, to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, and that the chair declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the body, and to go into executive session to comply with or act under the authority of the attorney-client privilege, and to go into executive session to consult with legal counsel and obtain legal advice pursuant to the attorney-client privilege, and to reconvene in open session, into open session. So
I'll make said motion.
Second that.
You'll need a roll call vote for that.
okay, any discussion? Okay, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Will Sinclair, aye.
Jim Hoffman, aye.
Bruce Mackey, aye.
Kevin Robinson, aye.
Chad Kavicki, aye.
The following subject will be discussed in the executive session. It'd be the Planning Board of Carver versus Carver ZBA and Borrego Solar Systems, Inc.
So we're going to have to ask you to leave. Just sit out there. This probably won't take that long.
Wood Printing, 78 North Main Street, and it's a request for a special permit to exceed signage dimensional requirements allowed in the Green Business Park.
Mr. Chairman, before you read into the record the public hearing notice, I'd like to excuse myself because I'm a direct abutter to the property.
All right, so we have public hearing notice. In accordance with the provisions of the Town of Carver zoning bylaw, the Carver Board will hold a public hearing on August 22nd, actually.
Well, we continued and we didn't have a quorum.
Okay, so it's August 22nd of 2017, in the Carver Town Hall, Meeting Room 1, on the application of Norwood Printing, requesting a special permit pursuant to Section 3570 and 5300 of the Carver zoning bylaw, located on 78 North Main Street in Carver, Mass., to exceed the signage dimensional requirements. Any persons interested and wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. A copy of the plan is on file at the town clerk's office and may be reviewed during normal business hours. Carver Planning Board Chair Bruce Mackey. Published dates July 21st and July 28th of 2017. Good evening.
How are you?
Good. If you give us your name and...
Eric Perkins, president of Norwood Printing.
If you remember, Mr. Perkins came in under the sign permit. I know Chad wasn't here.
Yeah.
But, oh, you were here, and he exceeded it. He exceeded the dimensions, so he chose to, instead of
Special permit.
shrinking the sign, to come back under this. So maybe explain to them what you plan on.
So the sign on the building exceeded the square footage that the special, that the regular permit for the sign is required, and also the sign in front of the building, instead of going together with one sign, we wanted to have two separate signs. The signs are about 75 feet away from each other, and the secondary sign for Norwood Printing is also set 11 feet back off the street, which is further back than the crossroads sign, to give ample sight of line going forward. And we've shrunk down the building sign to 4x4 to get it a little smaller versus what we had originally proposed. So we're hoping that with this, we've, made it a little bit smaller, and also given the town what we may be able to pass for what we're looking for.
Are these going to be lit at all, or?
Probably solar. They'll be lit by solar power. We don't want to run any electrical out there.
But what kind of lamps are going to light these? Are they going to be
They'll
ground
be
mounted?
LED. They'll probably be LED off the ground.
Landscaping lights,
Okay,
which are allowed.
which are allowed, okay. Any questions by any of the board members? Before I do that, so this is all allowed by the special permit, Jack?
By special permit, you can ask for anything he
anything.
wants, so, yes.
Any questions by anyone?
This is, my question was, this is going from one side and splitting it to make two signs, so two different locations, right?
Same
And our
building.
concern was, we have this in one or two other places in town that we're addressing and trying to come up with, maybe redoing some of the language.
But under a special permit,
It's allowed.
it's allowed.
It's allowed.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So that's the thing, you know, in order to have multiple signs on the property, you have to have a special permit.
And he exceeds the size.
Any more thoughts, questions, concerns?
It's a public hearing too, right?
It is a public, if there's any, it is a public hearing, I can open this up to the public. Is there anyone out there that would like to make any comments, ask any questions? Come forward. Seeing none?
So the question we had was the last time we talked about the, what do you call the sign when you,
Directory?
It's a directory sign,
so
yeah.
that's what we were trying to eliminate
Correct.
by coming with the
Coming
special
with a
permit.
special permit.
Okay.
And we're also on the other side of the driveway.
It's usually, what, about 75 feet in between?
About 75 feet. I measured it up before I got here. 75 feet, and like I said, it's 11 feet off the street, and where the other sign is a lot closer.
Yeah,
So you
you
actually
stack.
have line of sight going by it.
So that's gonna, Crossroads will stay where it is?
Yeah, I'm not gonna move that one.
This will, okay.
There's a lot of concrete in there.
I'm good.
Everybody good with this?
I don't have any questions.
That's the one question I had.
Need to close the public hearing, Mr. Chair?
All right, yes, since no one had any question or comments in the audience, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a second. So we have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, before you take any action, I just wanted to remind Mr. Perkins, I was just see here that you technically owe us $26.82.
My bookkeeper's in the back.
Evidently, you had so many abutters that went above and beyond what
That's
you gave
okay.
us. So whatever you vote on, if you approve it, it should be conditioned upon that.
Upon the payment.
Of
And we probably
$26.
should have a condition about building permit.
Yeah, and,
How much was it, 26 what?
$26.82. And that it's gonna be lit by LED solar
Yep.
landscape lighting. I'll write this in your
Okay,
decision. And a building permit.
building permit's required.
Yep. Yep. 3 conditions.
All right, and entertain
All
a
right.
motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve Norwood Printing, 78 North Main Street, special sign permit with the following conditions, that the 2682 is paid. LED lit solar landscape lights and a building permit.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We got through it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That's it.
Good luck.
I'll drop off that $26.
And 82 cents.
Okay. So we'll do the second public hearing.
Hearing it.
So we have, second public hearing is Burma Signs and Awnings, 309 Main Street, Assessors Map 95-3-1, is a request for a special permit to exceed the signage dimensional requirement allowed in the Green Business Park District per the Carver zoning bylaw. And so, in accordance, I get a public hearing notice. In accordance with the provisions of the Town of Carver zoning bylaw, the Carver Planning Board will hold a public hearing on August 22nd, 2017, in the Carver Town Hall Meeting Room 1 on the application of Bremer Signs and Awnings requesting a special permit pursuant to sections 3570 and 5300 of the Carver zoning bylaw located on 309 Main Street in Carver, Mass. To exceed the signage dimensional requirements. Any persons interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. A copy of the plan is on file at the town clerk's office and may be reviewed during normal business hours. Carver Planning Board Chair Bruce Mackey. Published dates, August 11th, 2017, and August 18th, 2017.
Mr. Chair, just a point of clarification, it's 309 Tremont Street, not Main Street.
Did I misread that?
You did. That's,
Wow, I gotta get new glasses. All right,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
point of correction, the application on the public hearing notice is Brenner, not Bremer, B-R-E-M-E-R. It's just a spell check,
no, really?
just so it's,
Good evening, if you have your name
Oh,
and...
yeah, Brenner.
My name is Greg Brenner. I'm the owner of Brenner Signs and Awnings in Plymouth, and I'm here representing JLK Realty for 309 Tremont Street for his project, for some signage. And we're looking to exceed the amount of square footage on the pylon sign first, as the bylaw states that you're allowed 2 square foot per every tenant, and we're looking for 4 square feet per tenant on the road sign. And as far as the building is concerned, the building is, the wall area is 350 square feet, and we're allowed 10% of that, which is 35 square feet, and we're looking for 25 square feet per sign. And then there's also just a couple of small enter and exit signs that'll be put in at the entrances.
They don't need permits.
Okay.
So, did I hear that right? Gonna reduce the...
Yeah, the building signs, there's no need to.
Smaller, gonna be
Yeah, they're a little
smaller.
smaller than
But
what's.
you're gonna increase the sign out front.
Yes, but only only because of the amount of tenants that are going in it, and the bylaw states that there's only 2 square foot per tenant, and we're looking for 4 square foot per tenant. Visibility there is important to a tenant going into that type of area. It's gonna be probably an industrial building with contractors, and it always helps in leasing the space when you have some nice signage out at the road that's legible.
And under special permit, this is an allowable use.
You're allowed to increase the signs, or the marquee, directory sign rather, from 2 to 4. Yeah.
Is this gonna be lit?
It'll probably just have electrical spots on it, from the ground.
Sign.
Yep.
Any questions by the board?
I, through you, Mr. Chair, I assume that the setbacks from the roadway is all in compliance with,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we have that drawn on the map also. Well, tough to tell from this, but
I don't have a problem with increasing it. I think that on that roadway, especially with the way that traffic is there, and we want them to be successful, I think it's needed. It's in the industrial area there with Deacon's, and I think, I don't have a problem with it.
I like the sign. Being in my business, I have to hunt for companies all the time. And I notice a lot of signs, first of all, don't have a number on them, so they're difficult to find. And then if you have a company name, you really can't see the company name.
Right.
You have to slow down on the road, and it can be dangerous. So, I like this. And it shows that it's it's outside the road layout. It doesn't give an offset, but it shows on the plan it's outside the road, layout of the road. Any other questions or comments by anyone?
Looks nice.
I think in that area, I mean, we have all kind of signage out there. And I don't see any problem with that.
It's a public hearing.
If it's a public hearing, if there are no more questions by the board, I'll open this up to the public. If anybody would like to come forward. Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion a second, those for?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, so, all right.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to approve the sign application for, what was the street?
309 Tremont.
309 Tremont Street with the following conditions. Be a building permit, and also electrical permit if they're putting in electrical lighting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, those in favor?
Aye.
That's it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now you can go to the top of the agenda. Sort of.
All right, we can go. We have, a sign, we have in receipt of a sign permit for a lot of good stuff on 128 Main Street. Yeah, if you,
He's been waiting a while.
if you want to step up and you, I guess it will, I mean, this is just
Just a regular sign.
for a discussion. I mean, are we going to vote on this tonight, or
Yeah,
we could vote on this tonight?
just a normal sign.
All right. We have this in our package.
Do you have it in there? I don't have it either.
Just this, right?
No.
Oh, there, it's, Chad has it.
Yes.
Yep.
The dimensions should be
Oh,
on that
okay,
second
good.
page. First page.
18 by 24.
All right, if you want to tell us about it, please.
Okay. My name is John Bond. I just recently moved to Carver. I live on, I guess it's called Carver Square Boulevard. The condo's back there, and I saw the place to run a business, so I elected to start it. It's going to be a business that has antiques, collectibles, furniture, rugs, a variety of different things. You go into the place, and you're going to find something you like. I have a lot of public support from the businesses around me. We're going to do a big open house, or a big grand opening on Labor Day weekend. They're contributing, Rockland Trust, Dee's Omelets, everybody's contributing, and I think it'll be a great thing. I'm doing the month of September 10% off on all items in store for Carver residents. I also, each and every day, am doing 10% off for veterans, firemen, police officers, and seniors.
So what type of signs are you putting up?
Just a small,
It's just on the building itself?
just on the building itself.
Okay.
And then on the front, there's a billboard, and he's putting a sign up there. It's probably about 3 on the bottom of the sign.
Okay. Have you had time to review this, Jack?
Just now, I'm not here. What he has on his application meets the bylaw.
Okay.
not bad looking sign either.
Does everybody have one of those? If you're done, yeah, you could pass that around. I don't know if everybody has one.
Bless you.
Question, where is 128 Main Street?
Yeah, I was gonna.
The post office is there, the liquor store is there, I'm right in the middle.
Oh,
So I didn't know where it was either until I.
oh, yeah, sure. Actually,
Showing my
that,
age.
those directional signs are pre-permitted.
Yes.
On the directory.
On the director.
On the directory, they're not the other one, not the one he's applied for. but-
All right, so is this gonna be lit, or is it's just
No,
gonna be a
it's just-
sign
it's
over
just
the
regular
door,
sign.
and that's
That's
it,
it,
period? All right.
I got a question for you, though. Someone told me you couldn't put any lit signs inside, like open or something. Is that correct or incorrect?
Been-
Like a sign, like the liquor store has, like Bud Light, whatever the case may be. Are those okay to put inside to say open?
Oh, yes,
It
that's,
is? That's all.
that's not Bud Light, though.
No, I'm not gonna put Bud Light sign on.
That's for the chairman.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the sign application for a lot of good stuff, 128 Main Street, as presented.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye. Good luck, welcome to Carver.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I do have money. Who am I supposed to give it to?
Oh, yeah, we'll need that. Yep.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
So is this for us to sign this
Yep.
evening?
Yep. You're gonna need to get a building permit to put that sign up. You actually are applying right now for it,
Okay.
so you can just come in tomorrow.
Set the sign this.
Okay. Town of Carver.
All right, next is a sign permit, in receipt of a sign permit for Edaville, 7 Eda Ave. Directional signs at various locations.
Jack, do you have the things?
They have them in their packet, I believe.
Brenda gave me 3 copies.
Oh, maybe not then, so share them. Mr. Chair, as most of you know, Edaville had previously got permission for directional signs, and the way I understood it, John, was that you were just changing the message?
The branding.
Yeah, the branding.
We're freshening the exact same sign, just
Right.
with fresh branding.
To the chair, sure. Oh, you have them in your packet.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we do, it's black and white,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, this is in color.
I'll give you 2, how's that? I'll keep one just for tonight, so then I'll hand it over to you.
It's full well, for the chairman.
I'm gonna make it tonight.
We haven't seen you in a while, Joe. Welcome.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, you guys got one? You guys got one? So these, see how, so these signs already exist?
Yes, they're just, you can see the old one there.
Okay,
It's in the
so-
packet.
Okay,
It's identical, other than the branding.
okay.
So there's not, we're not adding anything, it's exactly what's out there.
All the same locations, John.
Everything's the same.
You can sit down, John. People at home probably want to hear how Edaville's doing.
I think if those of you that haven't been there, I'd encourage you to go. It's quite it's coming along quite nicely, actually. People are happy. 50% of the people are coming from out of state,
Oh, really?
spending money here in Carver and state of Massachusetts, so we're on the radar screen, and, we hope to bring it up to over 500,000 visitors. So it's not the Edaville of old.
Hours of operation still pretty much the same?
Well, we're open every day right now, and then come September, we have long weekends. And it's all on the website. I don't want to misquote it, but, there's, but it's going quite well. People are very happy. It's 4.5 on travel whatever the travel website is there.
Travelocity,
No, travel, TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor, so. And we work hard with that. Every social media call, good or bad, is responded to within 15 minutes. 24 hours a day, nobody does that. So that's very important today, because that's the whole business, is the social media is a big thing with the families, and so we're really focused on that. But we have wonderful programs coming up, all kinds of combinations with other businesses, and it's just really exciting, and we keep adding things, and once we're done with the sign, I'll give you kind of, if you want, I'll give you an update of where we're headed, once we're past this, if you want, unless I, whatever works, just for a minute.
I think we should hear it. I think the residents would love to hear what's going on.
Definitely.
As far as the application is concerned, I don't have any issues with it. I like the new branding, if that's the way you want to call it. They're all in the same location, all the same sizes.
It's all the ones that were pre-approved for years now.
I don't have an issue with that.
Oh, it says what, number 18, this one is bigger,
Is it?
back page.
Nope, hold on.
Whatever's,
Second to last
Chad,
page.
whatever's in that application's,
No, it's just, that's why I just
I'm
happened to
pinch
notice
hitting tonight, so give me a little.
it. Yeah, no, I just happened to notice it's getting into the packet.
This one here. This is the one you're talking
Okay.
about, the 18 by 20?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a list of locations.
Well, I don't think the locations have changed, I think.
Yeah, no, I just,
Bruce has mine, that's all.
Over
Keep
18.
it, that's the original.
just so it's not worded wrong.
Sure.
So, okay, one is, okay, I see one's 36 inches by 42 inches. That
Well, that's the
exists.
one when they're driving up Rochester Road.
Yeah.
And, and this whole thing with GPSs and everything else is confusing for people, because they, it's all based on your phone number, and where the phone number, where the bill's paid is how they tie in the locations, and sometimes they're sending people from GPS, depending on which GPS they have. Sometimes they're sending them to exit 3, and sometimes to exit 2. It's confusing, so we're working on straightening it out. So anything we can do to get people there efficiently and not affect the neighbors and that sign really helps us. And that's been there, since the 70s. Just been updated, that particular one.
Wasn't there talk at one time about changing the sign on Route 58, the location?
Well, we did that.
So that was
Yeah,
done?
that's coming up
That's
next.
next.
No, we've already got it built.
Right.
We're changing the branding on the logo. Everything's the same, it's just the image is slightly different. We have to share that
That
with
was
you.
done under a special permit, so
Right,
he's
last
asking for
year.
a modification of that.
Minor.
Simple one, very
Very
simple.
minor modification, but that's the next, after we finish on these directionals, then we're going to get into that, and then I'll give you an update on Ediville, just in general, if you'd like.
So did you get your question answered, Chad, about the 18 by 24
No, I just happened
sign?
to just make sure it's worded right, because they're not all the same size, one's slightly different.
Yeah, some are
I
different.
don't have a problem with it,
Yeah,
but it's just
okay.
one location.
Yeah, okay.
Being technical.
25
Well, we
years.
want it right, Chad, I
Is it doing
agree.
signs?
That's right.
Should be, right.
He's
should
done a
be.
few signs in his life.
That's right.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the directional signage application for Edaville Railroad as presented us on just changing the, I guess, the design of it.
Branding.
The branding, I should say, to be more specific.
Second that?
You have a motion and a second, those in favor?
Aye.
And then we have this to sign this evening.
Yes, that one you can sign this evening.
Okay, so
The
let's...
second petition is, as I said, it's the exact, you've already approved it through the special permit process. And obviously, John's going through a whole new branding, and he needs to change the message, that's all.
This is the special permit.
It's in their packet, yep.
This is the color code.
Oh,
Thank you. So you get the better.
See, move the LED up too.
This was the new one, this is last year's, so the physical size and everything's the same, it's just the image. You can welcome to ask me.
That's the one over by the hand dealers, right?
The posts are already in.
Steve.
We want to wrap it up.
And we already approved the LED display
We
previously?
approved everything on there.
Okay, it's just the
Yeah,
difference.
it's just Jack felt it was best to come in because the image was slightly different. We
Yeah.
want to, we want to make sure that you understand that, that's all. Square footage, everything's the same. It's all noted. If you look at the two, there's a comparison there. But I think it's a much smarter sign, the new logo and everything is, so that's what we have.
Just my recollection of how this town is with signs, even though nothing's changing, the logo changes, I wanted to make sure you guys
right.
blessed it.
Just do yourself a favor, John, keep that LED sign as high as you can.
I know from the road salt and
And plows.
the plows, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, they started moving them from 7 feet clearance up to like 12, 13,
Oh, wow.
because the state ones were getting hammered.
Oh, really?
And they're big money, too,
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're huge money, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so.
Dactronics is a big supplier.
As far as formal actions, those are the two actions, the one you just did and this one. That's it.
Okay, so this is a minor modification, so any board members have any questions, concerns?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the minor modification for the Edaville sign located on Route 58 for the new sign design logo.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second, those in favor?
Aye.
So I have everybody here and everything. I can tell you that, Edaville, as Will asked me, is doing well. It could always do more, so we keep adding more attractions, and we're making some very, very strong improvements at Edaville, and one that we'll be back in front of you on is that we're going to apply to pave the parking lot. So that will require drainage, which has been designed for the stormwater and so forth. So the way we had arranged it in the past is that everything inside the berm was was basically covered under the existing arrangement, and then anytime we're outside the berm, you'd want to have a fresh permit for that because, the neighbors see that and we want to make sure there's full disclosure. And so we thought we might want to come in and clean that up, and so that's coming forward. The plans are about 90% complete, and as soon as they're done, I'll share them with Jack for comment, and then hopefully schedule a hearing, for that. That will make the parking much more, much more organized, and I don't think there's been any complaints from anybody on the traffic, because the traffic is very staggered. It's not like a football game where everybody's there one moment and everybody leaves at another. They come at all different times, and it's really worked out quite well, and we make sure that the neighbors are pleased and happy, and everybody's, Brenda's very good at that, reaching out to everybody. So that's one thing that we'll be coming to see you on in the very, very near future. And we're also adding some new attractions inside. They're in the design phase. We have, we're expanding our relationship with Mattel. Mattel is the brand owner of Thomas. And with that arrangement, we're allowed other brands and in a theme park setting. And so some of the female brands we're looking at. For some of the brands that they own are things like Barbie and American Girl. So those of you that have young girls or granddaughters, you're familiar with those brands. Also the Hot Wheels brand for the go-kart track that we built back there. So those are some of the things, and also a small splash area to cool people off in the summer, a little interactive, not a water park, but just a splash area, because some of them you've even seen those in municipal lots for children.
Nelson Street in Plymouth, I believe.
Yeah, so there's a nice thing for there, and then we're adding, I'd encourage you to come by and see the job I did on Main Street with the mercantile store. That's about 90% complete with the fabulous antiques, and it's just really coming along. It's the Dickens Village is pretty far along. We're doing interior fits right now on the various spaces. The town's been working quite well with us, with Mr. Morgan and everybody, and has been quite helpful in suggestions. And it's been a real cooperative effort all the way along. It's been very good. It's enjoyable, and people love it. And it's amazing, after, I don't know, because Will's been here for the whole ride, but, it's there's been a lot of starts and stops, but I think it's finally we're, on track to really be, certainly a regional destination, and we get people from all over the world. I mean, it's amazing, and I get a lot of people. I've got people from overseas, and it's fascinating, the people you meet, and they're very happy, and they love the town of Carver, and I'm happy that I'm able to contribute to the town of Carver. I was involved, as you know, in the fire station building committee. I'm involved in the school, and I really want to see the downtown here, spruced up, and so I'm trying to do my part and making sure that happens, and I think that's all coming out nice. I don't think there's a nicer fire station in Massachusetts, to be honest with you. So that's worked out well, and just a little bit of, just so you know, the condos that I know you remember those, that Maria took over, and what a outstanding success. They're all built, and I think all but one are sold. So it's came out. It's just about there. I would say by October, everything will be landscaped, and that's it. And everybody's happy up there, and big difference from years back. But I just want you to know that there's a happy ending there.
Good, thank you.
So everything's good.
Good.
So it's.
Thanks for the update, John.
And we will be back, like I say, to clean up that parking lot, to make sure that you're okay with all that and what we're doing. I think you'll like what our plans are there. And we are adding a solar, that's another thing I want to mention too, I should have mentioned, Jack, is we want to make Ediville 100% green with the energy. So we are going to put I think it's a 400,000 meg, but it's not for public meg, it's for our own consumption. So it would be our solar field for our consumption, which is exactly what you really want. It's not about making money. It's about keeping and I tell you, a lot of these younger people, the millennials, and they ask questions like that. What's your recycling program? What are you doing for greening? People ask these questions today, and because everybody's concerned about the planet, and I think having the solar there is great. So we'll be back in front of you with that, and I've never done one of those before, so I'm learning the bylaw. Mr. Cirque's going to be helping us with that, and when the time comes, that will also be coming this fall. So that's just for Ediville. I just want you to understand, it's a little different than any of these other solar fields. I think they're putting electricity into the grid and getting some kind of payment. That's not our case. We're and I don't know if Will, you with your electrical background, we're on prime metering there now. Yep. So we've gotten away from so we're set up for that solar, setup now.
That's perfect.
So we put our own, all the transformers. We got rid of so we own right to the street the electrical infrastructure. We did that. That was a lot of money to put that in, and we did all that, all new transformers and everything else, all the new, And the solar thing will work out beautiful, and that's going to go on that property we purchased from Mr. Hanula over there, if you remember that, over that way.
Yep.
So that's another update so those are the two things that you'll be seeing. Plus, we'll always give you updates and everything. And if you ever have any questions or anybody would like a tour of what we did, all you need to do is reach out to us, and I'll give you, or Brenda, one of us, or both of us, will give you a personal tour of anything at any time, about anything, and answer any questions. And if anybody does inquire, the public would certainly respond immediately, so, about anything. So it's totally transparent. Okay?
Well, thank you very much, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Thank you for seeing us tonight. Thank you. Should I have Brenda follow up with you on that?
Yeah, please.
All right.
I've already talked to her about the parking lot.
Okay.
I didn't, first I.
No, on these signs, is there anything I need to do beyond this?
No, wait for the decision on the modification, and,
I'll just have her call you. I'll
have her call me.
Okay, thanks. Good night, folks.
Good night.
I think councils are ready for you, but maybe if we could finish the public session, then you can go into executive, not to
And
come
that'll be
out.
it, okay.
Right.
We have other business. We have, we have receipt of plans for Corvette Mike's.
Yep, just that we have an application, and we'd like you to accept the plans for a public hearing on September 12th. Assuming you'll
Chair.
all be there.
Just for the board's information, I believe I'm butted to that, to Mike's.
Can you make that one, Chad?
I'll let you know.
All right. September 12th.
Okay,
That's your next meeting anyway.
okay. So we go to other business. We have planning board member notes. Anyone have anything that they'd like to say to the public?
Nope.
Planning director notes.
Yeah, I put 67 Main Street, that's Ms. Chin's condos that were permitted. They've been sitting there. I think someone asked me, I did talk, Ms. Chin, as you know, had a medical issue. I talked to her daughter. Their contractor was injured. And so I followed up with the building commissioner. He met with the contractor. If you told me his name, I couldn't remember it. He indeed was injured, and he gave him till September 5th to start back to work, or otherwise he's pulling the permit.
Okay.
The contractor, Bodette, or something like that, he came in to see Debbie and said that he can fulfill that, and I'm told there were contractors there today working, so. The only other thing is, we are gonna have I believe we're gonna have a subdivision coming in front of you off of South Meadow Drive, right on the Plymouth border by Makepeace. I think they're coming in. I've met with them several times. I know we're gonna have a project from Mr. Artiano across from the Tractor Supply store. There's a house there. It's the Leary House. I've dealt with them my whole career here. But he has a purchase and sale to build some contractor yards there. So that's what I know is coming. That's it.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the minutes of July 25th, 2017, and we have another set of minutes of July 25th for the executive session.
We are doing the regular minutes first, Mr. Chair.
We can. Let's do the regular minutes then.
Make a motion to approve the regular minutes as written.
Second.
A motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
And then, yeah, Chad
Both of us.
and Kevin weren't here. And then we have the executive session minutes. So it was just Will, Jim, and myself.
Make a motion to approve the executive session minutes not to be released.
Second.
Have motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
And two abstentions. All right. Now we go to, is there any correspondence? Next meeting date would be the
September
12th of next month. All right. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, and that the chair declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the body, and to go into executive session to comply with or act under the authority of the attorney-client privilege, and to go into an executive session to consult with legal counsel and obtain legal advice pursuant to the attorney-client privilege, and not to reconvene in open session.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and it will have a roll call vote.
Excuse me, did you say not to reconvene in open session?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably good. appropriate, but you may want to, just in case there's a vote that you need to take in open session, you may want to reconvene an open session, and you can always just.
I'll say to come back into motion.
For adjournment, that would be
Yeah.
it.
So just change it to come back into open session.
Okay,
That's fine.
so what we will do then, under further perusal, is to reconvene an open session.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
Second, okay, we'll have a roll call vote.
Will Sinclair, aye?
Jim Hoffman, aye.
Bruce Mackey, aye.
Kevin Robinson, aye.
Jack Kibicki, aye.
The following subject will be discussed in the executive session. This is the Planning Board of Carver versus Carver ZBA and Borrego Solar Systems, Inc.
Fran, are we off?
Ready. So I need a motion to go into open session.
Okay.
I think
And
you
we need
did.
a roll call vote?
You did that. No, you did it.
Okay, so we've already done that.
You're in
Okay,
open
So we
session.
are in open session, and we don't need another vote for that.
And look who's here.
Good evening, Mr. Cirque.
All right, so,
Executive
I've
session.
explained to Mr. Cirque that the board is in agreement to have a hearing on September 12th, presuming that the application gets filed timely enough to give the proper notice. And the board will address the new application on the 12th. They have a right to file regardless, but the board is indicating its desire to be cooperative and is arranging to have a hearing on the 12th.
Is it my understanding that you're expecting a new application?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Will there be a new application fee?
That's a good question, isn't it? Technically, yes, they do have the right to waive it.
Okay.
At a minimum, you have to pay for any advertising.
Oh, that's going to happen as a matter
Sure,
of,
that's-
yeah.
What is the application fee?
$500.
$500. I would say to have, they can ask for us to waive it in the hearing. But at the utmost, I'd apply for the permit with the fees and ask for the board to waive it at the hearing.
Well, normally if I filed the application, I'd file the fee with it.
He has to file the fee unless he notes in the cover letter that the board this evening waived the application fee.
Or unless you want to determine until on the 12th whether to charge it or not.
Could
What-
do that.
Is this my copy?
And
Yeah.
you could give me the check and we'll just put it in the folder and give
Okay.
it back to you.
This is what Will's looking.
We should talk about this.
Yeah.
Minutes.
But you can get me everything and get the notices out.
Yeah, I will prepare the amended petition, and I'll prepare the public hearing notice, send them to both of you
Yeah.
to review. And I already have the abutters list. And so, once you've reviewed the application and the public hearing notice, we'll arrange to have it published.
Okay.
And the green cards will come back to me, and I'll give them to you at the hearing?
Correct. And
Okay.
you and I can have a chat, maybe even with Jim about,
So,
Okay.
I guess we need a motion to schedule a public hearing. For September 12th for Borrego Solar. See if I can find the lot. Application for a solar system on
something C, Ward
19C
Street.
Ward Street.
19C Ward Street. It's 7 o'clock.
Can we make it 7:15, Mr. Chairman? We got two hearings at 7. Let's not fool the public in any way.
So I don't think 7:15 is a big stretch. I think that's okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. See you then.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Second.
I don't know how you guys do it here, but copies of all the plans, separately for each member of the board.
Yep, he knows the drill.
So we have a
Yeah.
motion and a second for adjournment. Those in favor?
Aye.